Imagine, right, just imagine handing over like $5,000 in cold hard cash to a billboard company.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
You sign the contract, you hand over your design, and then you walk away.
Just completely blind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have absolutely no idea what highway that billboard is going to be placed on.
Right.
You have no idea if the people driving by even own cars, let alone if they're, actually interested in what you're selling.
It's just wild.
And worst of all, you have literally no mechanism whatsoever to track if a single person who saw that giant sign actually walked into your physical store and bought something.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds completely irrational when you frame it like that, right? In the physical world.
Oh, totally.
Like, nobody would willingly authorize that kind of reckless marketing spend for a brick-and-mortar business. You'd be fired.
Right. And yet, in the digital marketing world, that exact scenario plays out, every single minute of every single day.
It's true. It really is.
And businesses just pour incredible amounts of money and time and creative energy into digital platforms, and they're essentially building these beautiful storefronts in the middle of a featureless digital desert.
A ghost town.
A total digital ghost town, no roads leading to the door, no maps for the customers, and a massive disconnect between spending the money and, tracking actual revenue.
Which is really the fundamental problem we are tackling today.
Yes.
Because you can't simply expect foot traffic in the digital ecosystem. It doesn't just happen. You have to actively lay the infrastructure, build those roads, and really understand the intricate machinery that connects a casual scroller to a paying customer.
And laying those roads, really building that exact digital infrastructure is our mission today. So welcome to the Deep Dive.
I'm glad to be here.
Today we are embarking on a highly targeted, really comprehensive journey. We're building a step-by-step masterclass a definitive study guide for you, the listener, to pass the Meta Certified Digital Marketing Associate exam.
And, passing this exam is a rigorous process. It's not a joke.
No, it's not.
It requires a profound understanding of not just, what the tools are on a surface level, but the underlying mechanisms of how the algorithms actually behave.
Right. Let's talk about the stakes for a second here, because this isn't some simple online quiz where you can just sort of guess your way to a nice little PDF certificate.
No, definitely not.
The grading scale goes from 300 to 1,000, and you need a rock-solid score of at least 700 to pass.
Yep. 700 is the magic number.
So before we start unpacking all the technical jargon, let's establish the why. Why should someone listening spend weeks studying for this? Why is this specific digital badge worth all the intellectual heavy lifting?
Well, it really boils down to verifiable expertise. This certification is the highest level of foundational accreditation that Meta officially recognizes in the entire digital advertising industry.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it separates the hobbyists from the actual professionals. Because, look, anyone can figure out how to post a nice photo to an Instagram feed, right?
My mom can do that.
Exactly. But this exam proves, definitively, that you possess an advanced level proficiency in architecting real campaigns across Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
Right.
For anyone looking to boost their resume or, establish instant, undeniable credibility with a client or an employer, this certification acts as a guarantee. It proves you understand how to execute efficient, results-driven strategies without setting the client's budget on fire.
It proves you aren't the person buying the blind billboard on the digital highway.
Exactly. You know where the highway is.
Okay, let's lay out the roadmap for our deep dive today so we know exactly where we're heading. We are going to mirror the logical progression of the exam itself.
Makes sense.
We begin with the foundation, which is the organic presence. That's the unsayed community-building infrastructure across the core platforms, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger.
Right, because you have to build a house before you can invite the guests.
Precisely. And then from there, we transition into management. How do you actually control all those platforms without losing your mind? It can get chaotic.
Oh, super chaotic. So we will explore Command Central, also known as the Meta Business Suite. Then we cross the threshold into the pay-to-play universe.
The fun stuff.
The expensive stuff. We will pare down the differences between simple boosted posts and the complex architecture of Ads Manager, and we'll dissect how to map your business goals to the algorithm-specific campaign objectives.
And that naturally leads into the data analytics portion, because once you launch an ad, you absolutely need to track its performance off-platform.
Yes, the invisible data engines. We'll spend a significant amount of time unpacking the metapixel and the conversions API, really understanding how data flows from a website back to Meta.
Crucial stuff.
And finally, we'll round it out by learning how to read the metrics correctly and navigating Meta's incredibly strict privacy and advertising standard so your ads don't get banned before they even run.
Which happens a lot. It is an expansive curriculum, but everything connects. Each piece of software feeds directly into the next. To ensure this doesn't devolve into a dry recitation of a textbook, we are grounding all of this theory in reality. We're going to introduce a scenario to guide us through.
I love a good scenario.
And to keep the jargon from becoming totally overwhelming, I'll be jumping in periodically to highlight key glossary terms that the study guide demands you know. I might try to define them in plain English, and you can correct my inevitable oversimplifications.
I look forward to the translation process because application is where the actual learning happens. If you memorize a term without understanding its actual function in a business context, the knowledge is totally useless on the exam.
Then let's jump straight into the application. We are opening section 1 of our roadmap, the core 4. This is the process of establishing a digital footprint.
Right.
As we established, before a business spends a single dime on advertising, it absolutely must establish its organic, unpaid presence.
Yeah.
If we go back to the house analogy, you can't run a massive, expensive marketing campaign inviting thousands of people to a grand opening party if your house is just an empty dirt lot.
Right. The user experience would be incredibly jarring. I mean, think about it. If an advertisement catches a user's attention, the very first thing they do is click through to the business's profile to investigate.
They snoop.
They absolutely snoop.
Yeah.
And if that profile is empty or outdated or poorly structured, the trust is instantly broken and the potential customer just bounces.
So the organic presence is your foundational layer of trust.
Exactly. Within the Meta ecosystem, that foundation relies on 4 distinct platforms. Think of them as 2 storefronts and 2 communication hubs. The storefronts are Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, let's start with the largest storefront, Facebook. There is a very common, almost instinctual mistake that new business owners make here that the exam explicitly flags.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
They think, well, I already have a personal Facebook profile with like 500 friends. I'll just change the name to my business and use that.
Yeah, that is a critical error, both strategically and technically. From a terms of service perspective, using a personal profile to represent a for-profit business is a direct violation that can result in the account being completely shut down.
Which is a nightmare.
A total nightmare. But beyond the rules, a business really must use a dedicated Facebook page. A page is structurally different from a profile. It acts as the official, public-facing broadcasting entity.
Got it.
It allows you to list essential operational metadata, hours of operation, physical location maps, contact menus, and direct links to privacy policies.
So it immediately establishes legitimacy. It tells the consumer, hey, this is a real operational entity.
Yes. But the utility of a Facebook page extends deeply into community building. By operating a page, a business unlocks access to Facebook groups. And this is a vital concept for the exam.
Groups.
Groups allow a business to foster private, highly focused discussions with their most engaged, loyal customers. It shifts the dynamic from a brand broadcasting at an audience to a brand facilitating a conversation among a community.
Oh, I like that.
Furthermore, pages can host events. These can be physical, in-person gatherings or paid online events where users actually purchase a digital ticket directly through Facebook to attend a live stream. Facebook fundamentally serves as the platform for deep, long-form information sharing and community management.
Okay, so if we translate that to our physical town analogy, the Facebook page is the town square. It is the community bulletin board. People go there to read the full announcements, check the calendar for the upcoming weekend festival, and, engage in lengthy discussions with their neighbors about local issues. It's informative and community-centric.
That captures the user intent perfectly. Now look at the other storefront, the Instagram business account. The user intent on Instagram is entirely different.
Right. If Facebook is the bulletin board in the town square, Instagram feels more like a highly curated premium art gallery.
Or a glossy magazine.
Yeah, or maybe a fast-paced, behind-the-scenes documentary. People aren't necessarily going there to read business hours. They're going there for visual stimulation and inspiration.
Exactly. Instagram is the visual window display. The audience is seeking discovery through compelling, high-quality imagery and video. And for the exam, understanding the overarching vibe of Instagram isn't enough. You must be able to delineate the specific creative formats available and know when to deploy them.
Let's break those formats down then. The first is the most traditional, posts.
Right, posts. These live on your main profile grid permanently unless you delete them. They can be a single striking image, or they can be a carousel.
And the study guide specifically notes that a carousel can hold up to 10 photos or videos that the user swipes through, right?
Yes, up to 10. And carousels are incredibly effective for step-by-step tutorials, showcasing different angles of a single product or telling a sequential story.
10 items per carousel, noted. That feels like a very testable number.
It is.
The next format is stories. And the defining mechanism of a story is its ephemeral nature, right? It vanishes.
The 24-hour lifespan is the defining characteristic, yes. Stories are immersive, full-screen, vertical glimpses into the business. And because they disappear, they don't have to be perfectly polished.
Right, you don't need a film crew.
Exactly. In fact, raw, authentic, behind-the-scenes content often performs best here. It creates a psychological sense of urgency. The audience feels compelled to watch it now before it's gone forever.
Then we move to Reels, which, seem to be dominating the entire platform's algorithm right now.
Reels are absolutely essential for growth. While posts and stories are primarily shown to people who already follow your business, Reels are fundamentally designed for discovery.
Oh, okay.
They are short, highly entertaining, multi-clip vertical videos up to 90 seconds long. They heavily feature trending audio, music, and augmented reality effects. The algorithm aggressively pushes engaging Reels to users who have never heard of your brand but have shown interest in similar content. If you want to break out of your existing audience organically, you leverage Reels.
90 seconds max for Reels. Good to know. And the final format is Instagram Live.
Live allows a business to broadcast video in real time to their followers, and it can last up to 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah, it allows for real-time comment moderation and Q&A, making it ideal for major product launches, live tutorials, or extensive interviews.
4 hours is massive. You could stream an entire corporate conference or like a half marathon.
You really could.
So between Facebook and Instagram, we have our visual and informational storefronts fully operational. But marketing isn't just about putting a sign in the window. It's about what happens when a customer actually walks in and wants to ask a question. Which brings us to the communication hubs, Messenger and WhatsApp Business.
Right, because communication is the crucible, where casual interest is converted into actual sales and long-term loyalty. Let's examine Messenger first. Messenger is natively tethered to your Facebook page.
Okay.
When someone is browsing your Facebook page or interacting with your Facebook content, Messenger allows for immediate, seamless, one-to-one communication.
Now, there is a very specific technical feature mentioned in the study guide regarding Messenger that feels incredibly powerful for bridging the physical and digital worlds. The term is m.me links. That's m.eme.
Oh, the ME link is a massive friction reducer. It is a unique shortened URL that is permanently tied to your specific business's Messenger inbox.
Let's visualize how this works because it's brilliant. Imagine you sell a physical product, let's say a complex piece of electronics.
Nice.
You can print a QR code on the instruction manual inside the box. That QR code is just a visual representation of your m.me link. A frustrated customer opens a box, doesn't know how to assemble the product, scans the QR code with their smartphone camera, and boom.
Yep.
Their phone bypasses everything and instantly opens a direct messenger chat with your customer support team. They don't have to open Facebook, search for your company name, find the right page, and click message. It instantly teleports them into a conversation.
That removal of steps is critical. Every required click in a digital journey is an opportunity for the user to abandon the process. And ME links eliminate the search phase entirely.
It's so smart.
But what happens if a business operates in a region where Messenger isn't the primary communication tool, or they want a more robust standalone infrastructure? That is where WhatsApp Business enters the equation.
This is a common point of confusion. A business owner might ask, if my Facebook page already has Messenger attached to it, why on earth do I need to download and manage WhatsApp?
It's a completely valid question. WhatsApp Business operates as a completely standalone, free application. Unlike Messenger, which is tied to a Facebook identity, WhatsApp Business requires the verification of a dedicated business phone number.
A dedicated number.
It functions as a direct line. While it offers standard text, voice, and high-quality video calling, the business iteration of the app contains specific commerce integrations that Messenger simply does not have.
The digital storefront inside the chat is what really stands out to me.
Yes. The catalog feature. You can upload your product inventory complete with photos, descriptions, and pricing directly into your WhatsApp Business profile.
So cool.
A customer can text you a question, browse your entire catalog without ever leaving the chat interface, add items to a digital cart, and initiate an order. You are essentially turning a texting app into a localized e-commerce platform.
And both of these hubs, Messenger and WhatsApp, offer automated messaging, right? Like the ability to set up a digital receptionist.
Correct. You can configure greeting messages that instantly fire off the moment a new customer initiates a chat, outlining what information you need from them. You can set away messages outside of business hours to manage expectations regarding response times.
Right.
And you can program quick replies, where hitting a single keyboard shortcut instantly populates a lengthy, pre-written answer to a frequently asked question, like a return policy.
But WhatsApp has one specific organizational feature that I know is heavily emphasized on the exam. It fundamentally changes how you manage a high volume of messages. Labels.
Yes. Labels transform WhatsApp from a simple inbox into a lightweight customer relationship management system, a CRM. As a business owner, you can create custom, color-coded tags and apply them to specific chats or specific messages within a chat.
So instead of just staring at a wall of like 50 unread text messages, you can organize the chaos. You can tag a conversation with a yellow label that reads, New Customer Inquiry. You can tag another chat with a red label meaning pending payment. A green label could mean order shipped.
Exactly.
You can filter your inbox by these colors, instantly seeing exactly where every customer is in the sales pipeline.
That organizational capacity is vital when dealing with high-volume, text-based commerce.
Let's solidify all this theory with our real-world scenario. Let me introduce Lucky Shrub. Lucky Shrub is our fictitious, locally owned home and garden store.
Yeah, Lucky Shrub.
Yes. They sell everything from delicate indoor succulents to massive outdoor landscaping supplies. How does the owner of Lucky Shrub actually weave these core four platforms together into a cohesive organic strategy?
Let's map their ecosystem. Lucky Shrub recognizes that plant enthusiasts are highly visual. So, they treat their Instagram business account as their aesthetic inspiration board.
Makes sense.
When they finish a high-end backyard landscaping project, they don't just post one picture, they post a 10-slide carousel. It starts with the messy before picture, moves through the design blueprints, and ends with glorious, high-resolution shots of the finished garden.
Beautiful.
To reach new local customers, they utilize Reels. They film a time-lapse video of a rare Monstera plant unfurling a new leaf over 48 hours, pair it with a trending, relaxing audio track, and let the algorithm push it to plant lovers across the state.
So they're capturing attention and driving discovery through visual storytelling on Instagram.
Exactly. Meanwhile, their Facebook page serves a different, more structural purpose. They post their holiday store hours, text-heavy updates about a delay in a soil shipment, and links to their website blog on winterizing roses. But the crown jewel of their Facebook strategy is a group they created called Lucky Shrub Local Gardeners.
Ah, this is the community bulletin board coming to life.
Exactly. This isn't a place where Lucky Shrub just posts ads. This is a forum where their most dedicated customers post photos of their diseased tomato plants asking for advice. Other customers chime in, and the Lucky Shrub staff provides expert guidance. It builds profound trust and brand loyalty.
And how do they handle the influx of communication?
Well, it depends on the entry point. If a follower watches an Instagram story about a new shipment of ceramic pots and replies to the story asking about prices, that conversation flows into the Instagram direct message inbox.
Right.
But Lucky Shrub has deeply integrated WhatsApp business into their physical operations. Every receipt printed in their store and every flyer stapled to a bag of mulch features a WhatsApp QR code.
Oh, that's smart.
A customer gets home, realizes they forgot to buy plant food, scans the bag of mulch, opens WhatsApp, browses the Lucky Shrub digital catalog right there in the chat, and places an order for curbside pickup. The owner then flags that chat with a purple ready for pickup label.
It's an incredibly powerful, interconnected ecosystem. But, as I mentally map this out, it leads us directly into our next major hurdle.
I see where this is going.
Because the scenario you just described sounds amazing for the consumer, but it sounds like an absolute nightmare for the business owner. The Lucky Shrub owner is trying to run a physical store. Their hands are literally covered in dirt and fertilizer.
Yeah, they're busy.
They have their smartphone in their pocket, and it is buzzing relentlessly. A Facebook comment here, an Instagram DM there, a WhatsApp order popping up, a new group member requesting access. How does a business operate at this scale without the owner completely losing their mind toggling between 4 distinct mobile apps?
If the infrastructure relies entirely on a single human toggling between native apps on a mobile device, the system will inevitably fracture.
It has to.
Messages will be missed, content will be inconsistent, and the business will hit an operational ceiling. Meta understood this friction, which is why they engineered the solution. Meta Business Suite. This is the command central we referenced earlier.
Let's transition from the platforms themselves to the management of those platforms. What fundamentally is the business suite?
At its core, Meta Business Suite is a unified, centralized dashboard. Accessible both via a robust desktop interface and a dedicated mobile app, it is the singular control room where a business manages its entire organic presence across Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp from one screen.
Okay, so for the purposes of the certification exam, we need to dissect the critical functions within this dashboard. The first major tool is scheduling.
Right, and the tool is specifically called the Planner. Attempting to remember to post an image natively at exactly 2:00 p.m. on a Tuesday is an incredibly inefficient use of a business owner's time.
You just forget.
You'd always forget. The Planner tool allows you to create, format, and schedule posts, stories, and reels far in advance. You can sit down on a quiet Sunday morning, architect your entire content strategy for the upcoming week, write the captions, attach the media, and set exact publication times for both Facebook and Instagram simultaneously.
I noticed in the study guide a feature within the planner called Moments.
Yes, the Planner calendar actively highlights upcoming major holidays, cultural events, and relevant seasonal moments. This allows a business to preemptively design campaigns.
So Lucky Shrub can see that Earth Day is exactly 1 month away. They can design a carousel post about sustainable gardening practices, schedule it to drop automatically at 9:00 a.m. on Earth Day, and then entirely forget about it while they focus on running the physical store.
Exactly.
The automation is a massive time saver. But the next feature is arguably even more critical for customer satisfaction, the unified inbox.
The unified inbox solves the exact chaotic scenario you described earlier. Rather than opening the Facebook app to check comments, then opening Messenger to check texts, then opening Instagram to check direct messages.
Well, which is exhausting.
The unified inbox aggregates every single one of those interactions into a single chronological feed. If someone comments on an Instagram reel and another person sends a direct message to the Facebook page, both of those communications appear side by side in the same dashboard. You can reply to both without ever changing tabs. Furthermore, you can apply those organizational CRM labels we discussed right here within the unified environment.
Now, there is a very specific, highly testable technical requirement regarding the integration of WhatsApp into this unified inbox. We need to clarify this because I know it trips up a lot of people on the test.
It is a vital technical hurdle. To connect WhatsApp Business to the Meta Business Suite inbox, the phone number you use must be entirely dedicated to the business.
Okay.
It cannot be currently registered or associated with a standard personal WhatsApp account.
Let's explain why that rule exists. If the Lucky Shrub owner has had the same personal cell phone number for 10 years and they use that number on regular WhatsApp to text their family, they cannot simply port that number into the Meta Business Suite to handle customer orders.
Correct. The system architectures cannot overlap. You cannot route business catalog orders and automated away messages through the same channel that handles private, encrypted family group chats.
That makes total sense.
If a business owner attempts to use a personal number, the system will force them to migrate that number entirely to the business platform, permanently altering its functionality. Or it will require them to acquire a secondary clean phone number dedicated solely to the WhatsApp Business API. The exam will definitely test your understanding of this separation.
Understood. A dedicated business line is mandatory for the unified inbox. The third core pillar of the business suite is Insights.
Insights represents your organic analytics dashboard. If you are posting content blindly without measuring the reaction, you aren't marketing, you are just shouting into the void.
Right.
The Insights tab aggregates performance data across Facebook and Instagram. It provides deep demographic breakdowns of your audience, their age ranges, geographic locations, and times of peak online activity.
So this is where you move past vanity metrics like likes and look at actual behavioral trends.
Precisely. You can objectively compare platform performance side by side. You might discover that while Lucky Shrub's photos of indoor succulents get tremendous engagement on Instagram, their long-form text posts about soil pH levels get virtually zero traction there, but trigger massive conversation in their Facebook group. Insights gives you the empirical data necessary to refine your content strategy.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second. Let's push back on the necessity of this entire dashboard.
All right, bring it on.
I'm imagining a small local business owner listening to this. They might think, this sounds like enterprise software. I'm a one-person shop. I have the Instagram app right here in my pocket. It has all the filters natively built in. I know exactly how to use it, and it takes me 10 seconds to post. Why should I disrupt my workflow to learn a completely separate complex dashboard?
It is an understandable resistance, really, but it fails to account for the trajectory of business growth. Relying on native in-app posting is a strategy that simply does not scale.
How so?
When it's just the owner posting a photo once a week, native is fine. But what happens when the business expands? What happens when Lucky Shrub becomes so successful they have to hire an agency or hire a local college student as a social media intern to handle the daily posting and community management?
Ah, if you are relying on the native mobile app, the only way to give that intern access is to hand over the master password to the company's Instagram account, or worse, the owner's personal Facebook login that is tied to the business page.
And handing over master credentials is a catastrophic security risk. If a disgruntled employee has the master password, they can lock the owner out, delete the page, or access the linked financial details.
That's terrifying.
This is where Meta Business Suite becomes non-negotiable. It features an incredibly robust system for managing team roles and permissions.
So instead of sharing a password, the owner uses the suite to invite the intern's personal Facebook account to the business manager, but heavily restricts what they can actually do.
Exactly. The owner retains the overarching admin role, giving them absolute control of the entire ecosystem, including billing and user management. They can assign the intern an editor role.
Okay, and what can an editor do?
The editor can draft content, reply to customer comments in the inbox, and schedule reels. But the system physically prevents the editor from deleting the Facebook page, viewing the credit card on file, or adding new users. The Business Suite provides workflow efficiency, analytical depth, and crucial security protocols that a mobile app alone simply cannot support.
That makes perfect sense. The scalability and security demand the dashboard. So let's take inventory of where we are in our journey here. Let's review. We have built the house. The organic content is flowing beautifully. The local community is deeply engaged in the Facebook group. The unified inbox is efficiently organized with labels. And the intern is securely scheduling posts a week in advance. The foundation is rock solid.
Sounds perfect.
But here is the harsh, inevitable reality of relying solely on organic marketing. You hit a ceiling. You are essentially preaching to the choir.
Organic reach, by definition, is largely restricted to the people who've already explicitly chosen to follow your brand, or the immediate network of people who share your content.
Right. Lucky Shrub has fantastic loyalty from their current customers, but the owner knows there is a massive new subdivision being built 3 towns over. Hundreds of new homeowners with empty backyards who have absolutely no idea that Lucky Shrub exists.
They're invisible to them.
Exactly. Organic posts aren't going to reach them. The algorithm isn't just going to magically push a Facebook post about mulch to a town 20 miles away for free. It is time to step out of the house. It is time to start printing invitations and paying the postage to send them to strangers. We are transitioning into the pay-to-play universe. Welcome to the world of Meta Ads Manager.
This is the demarcation line in the exam. We're moving from community management into direct response advertising and paid media.
Yeah.
And the very first conceptual hurdle that candidates must clear is understanding the profound difference between a simple boosted post and a true ad built within Ads Manager.
Let's dissect this because anyone who manages a Facebook page or an Instagram business account knows exactly what a boosted post is. Every time you publish an organic post, the platform aggressively prompts you with a little blue button that says Boost Post.
Very aggressively.
It feels like advertising.
Mm-hmm.
What is the fundamental difference between tapping that blue button and utilizing the full Ads Manager dashboard?
Yeah. A boosted post is essentially the training wheels of paid media. When you tap Boost, you are taking an existing piece of organic content, a photo or video that already lives on your public timeline, and you are applying a small budget to amplify its reach. Meta adds a sponsored label to it and pushes it into the feeds of people slightly outside your immediate follower base.
It's a mechanism for amplification. If we go back to the bulletin board analogy, boosting is like taking a flyer you already pinned to the town square board and paying a high school kid $20 to print 50 copies and hand them out to people walking down the adjacent sidewalk. You're just trying to get more eyes on an existing asset.
That is a very accurate analogy. Boosting is designed primarily for top-of-funnel engagement, getting more likes, more comments, and more shares on a post that is perhaps already performing reasonably well organically. It is quick, it requires almost zero technical knowledge, and you can launch it in 3 taps on your phone.
Really?
But because it is so simple, its functionality is severely limited. You have very basic demographic targeting options, and you cannot control where the ad is placed with any real precision. Ads Manager is an entirely different paradigm.
So if boosting is the training wheels, Ads Manager is the Formula One race car.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Ads Manager is the enterprise-grade advertising platform. First and foremost, the ads you build here do not have to exist on your organic timeline.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. You can create dark posts ads that appear in a target customer's feed but are completely invisible to someone casually browsing your Facebook page. But the true power of Ads Manager lies in its granular control. It unlocks the ability to target users based on incredibly specific behavioral data, allows for complex creative formatting, and gives you absolute authority over where your ads appear across the entire Meta ecosystem.
And to wield that power, you have to understand the architecture. The exam places massive emphasis on the structural hierarchy of Ads Manager. You cannot just upload a picture and hit go. You have to build the campaign according to a very strict three-tier framework.
The campaign structure is arguably the most important foundational concept in the advertising section of the study guide. Every single ad built on the platform must navigate these three distinct levels in a specific order.
When I first studied this, the only way I could visualize the architecture was by picturing a set of Russian nesting dolls.
I love that visual.
You start with the largest wooden doll on the outside. You open it up, and nested tightly inside is a medium-sized doll. You open that one, and inside is the smallest final doll. You cannot access the inner dolls without first interacting with the outer shell.
The nesting doll analogy perfectly illustrates the dependent hierarchy of the system. Let's examine the largest outermost doll. This is level 1, the campaign level.
What happens in the strategy room of the campaign level?
At the campaign level, you make exactly one massive structural decision. You determine the objective.
The objective.
Yes. What is the ultimate business goal of this specific advertising effort? What do you fundamentally want the user to do when they encounter your ad? Do you want them to watch a video? Do you want them to navigate to your website? Do you want them to physically purchase a product? You select this single objective, and every decision made in the subsequent levels is optimized by the algorithm to achieve that specific goal.
Okay, we have decided what we want to achieve. We have selected our objective. We open the largest doll. Nested inside is level 2, the ad set level.
The ad set is the tactical engine room. And it's important to note that a single campaign can hold multiple ad sets within it. If the campaign determines what we are trying to achieve, the ad set determines the who, where, when, and how much.
Let's break those tactical decisions down. The who is the audience targeting.
Yes. At the ad set level, you define precisely who will see your ad. You can set broad demographic parameters like age ranges and geographic radiuses, for example, targeting homeowners within 20 miles of Lucky Shrub.
Right.
But you can also dive into detailed targeting, layering interests and behaviors. You can instruct the system to target people who have specifically shown an interest in organic gardening or users who recently purchased outdoor furniture.
Next is the placements.
Placements refer to the digital real estate where your ad will actually render on a user's screen. Will this ad appear seamlessly in the standard Facebook newsfeed? Will it interrupt a user as an immersive full-screen Instagram story? Will it appear in the Messenger inbox or on third-party apps through the Meta Audience Network? You decide that at the ad set level.
Can I just let the system decide?
You can. You can utilize Advantage Plus placements to let the algorithm dynamically place the ad where it's cheapest and most effective.
And finally, the when and how much.
Your budget and schedule. You dictate whether you want to spend $50 a day perpetually, or if you have a strict lifetime budget of $500 that must be spent between Monday and Friday. All of those financial and temporal boundaries are locked in at the ad set level.
So the campaign sets the goal. The ad set builds the strategy and finds the audience. Now we open the medium doll and we arrive at the smallest, innermost layer, level 3, the ad level.
The ad level represents the culmination of your strategy. This is the tangible output. This is the actual creative asset that the targeted user will see rendered on their device. And a single ad set can contain multiple individual ads, allowing you to run A/B tests to see which specific image or headline performs better with the audience you defined.
And right here is where we need to execute a glossary check, because the terminology used at the ad level is precise, and it's very easy to conflate the terms. Let's make sure our definitions are pristine for the exam.
Fire away.
First term from the study guide, ad format. I often hear people confuse format with creative. How do we cleanly separate them?
If we look at the mechanics, the ad format is essentially the architectural blueprint of the ad. It's the structural vessel. Are you using the single image format? Are you using a video format? Or are you using the carousel format, which allows the user to swipe horizontally through multiple cards? The format dictates how the information is physically arranged and interacted with on the screen. It is the blank canvas.
Got it. The format is the structural blueprint, which leads to the second term, add creative.
If the format is the blank canvas, the ad creative is the paint you apply to it. The creative encompasses every specific visual and textual element you upload. It is the literal high-resolution photograph of the blooming rosebush. It is the 15-second video file of the landscaping team. It is the witty primary text you write for the caption, the bold headline that sits beneath the image, and the specific call-to-action button you select, like Shop Now or Learn More.
The format is the structure. The creative is the specific content.
Perfect. So let's step back and look at the entire Russian nesting doll assembly. It is an incredibly logical system.
Define is.
But the entire architecture hinges on that very first decision made at the outer layer. The campaign objective. If you choose the wrong objective, the perfect audience and the most beautiful creative will completely fail, won't they?
A poorly chosen objective is the primary reason businesses burn through their marketing budgets with zero return on investment. The algorithm is ruthlessly literal. It will execute the objective you assign it regardless of your actual business intentions. Which brings us to Section 4. Aligning goals with campaign objectives. Before you even log into Ads Manager, you must possess a crystal clear understanding of what you are trying to accomplish. The study guide emphasizes that vague aspirations are useless. Your business goals must be SMART. S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Because I want Lucky Shrub to sell more plants is a wish, not a strategy. It gives the system no parameters for success.
Right. A SMART goal would be, I want to sell 50 specific peach tree saplings through our online website by the end of May, maintaining a cost per acquisition under $20. That gives you metrics to measure against. Once you have that SMART goal, the Meta framework requires you to map it onto the traditional marketing funnel.
The marketing funnel is a theoretical model that maps the psychological journey a consumer undertakes from total ignorance of your brand to becoming a paying customer. Meta categorizes its entire objective ecosystem around the three core stages of this funnel: awareness, consideration, and conversion.
Let's visualize this funnel. The top is the widest part. This is the awareness stage. It's about casting a wide net into the digital ocean.
At the awareness stage, the consumer does not know you exist. Your singular goal is brand introduction. Meta offers specific objectives here, primarily grouped under the umbrella of the awareness objective.
What does that tell the machine to do?
When you select this, you are instructing the machine learning algorithm to optimize for impressions and reach. You are telling the system, I don't care if they click, I don't care if they buy, I just want as many unique eyeballs on this brand name as possible within my target audience. It is also highly effective for maximizing video views, introducing a brand's narrative through visual storytelling.
Okay, so the wide net has been cast. A percentage of those people see the ad, recognize the brand name, and move down into the middle, narrower section of the funnel. This is the consideration stage.
Now the audience knows who you are, and you want them to actively think about your business and seek more information. Meta provides several objectives for this stage. The most prominent is the traffic objective.
How does the algorithm behave differently when I select traffic instead of awareness?
This is where understanding the mechanics is crucial. The algorithm possesses massive amounts of historical behavioral data on every user. When you select traffic, you are telling the AI, find the people within my audience who have a historical track record of physically tapping on outbound links and leaving the platform. Exactly. The algorithm actively ignores the users who just scroll, and it targets the clickers. It optimizes to drive volume away from Facebook or Instagram toward an external destination, like your website landing page or a specific blog post.
It finds the link clickers. What if I want them to interact, but I don't want them to leave the app?
Then you utilize the engagement objective. This tells the algorithm to find users who frequently like, comment, share, or send direct messages. It is perfect if your goal is to spark a conversation on a post, inflate the RSVP numbers for a Facebook event, or drive a high volume of direct inquiries into your Messenger or WhatsApp inbox.
And the final objective in the consideration stage is focused on data collection, the leads objective.
The leads objective is designed for B2B services, high-ticket items, or businesses building an email list. The algorithm finds users willing to exchange their personal information for something of value.
Like filling out a form.
Yes. Often this utilizes an instant form, a native form that pops up directly inside Facebook, auto-populated with the user's name and email, allowing Lucky Shrub to instantly capture contact info for a complex landscaping quote. without forcing the user to navigate a slow external website.
So we have introduced the brand with awareness. We have driven them to the website with traffic, sparked conversations with engagement, and collected emails with leads. Now we arrive at the very bottom, the most narrow point of the funnel, the conversion stage, the moment of truth where money changes hands.
Here, the intent is absolute action. We have the app promotion objective, specifically engineered for software developers trying to drive app installs or specific in-app purchases. And then we have the ultimate objective for most e-commerce businesses: sales.
The big one. How does the sales objective alter the algorithm's targeting?
When you select sales, you are unleashing the most aggressive optimization the platform offers. You are demanding that the AI sift through your target audience and find the specific subset of users who have a demonstrated history of adding items to carts, initiating checkouts, and completing credit card transactions online. It targets the buyers.
Let's illustrate the catastrophic consequences of misunderstanding this algorithm with our Lucky Shrub scenario. Scenario A, Lucky Shrub is opening a massive brand new second location in a neighboring town where nobody knows their name. Which objective do they deploy?
Well, their smart goal is visibility. They need everyone in a 10-mile radius to know the grand opening is on Saturday. So they select the awareness objective. The algorithm efficiently buys the cheapest impressions possible, plastering the ad across the screens of thousands of local residents. It is the digital equivalent of blanketing the town in flyers.
Perfect. Scenario B, Lucky Shrub has a massive surplus of 50 peach tree saplings sitting in their greenhouse. They need to sell them online through their website, and they need to do it this week. Right. The owner logs into Ads Manager, gets confused, and thinks, well, if more people are aware of the peach trees, more people will naturally buy them. So they select the awareness objective and link the ad to the peach tree product page. What happens?
Disaster. Total disaster. This is the scenario we discussed at the very beginning, the $5,000 digital billboard waste.
Why?
The Meta AI is literal. By selecting awareness, the owner instructed the algorithm to find people who will simply look at the ad. The system will optimize delivery toward users who enjoy looking at beautiful photos of nature, but who never actually purchase anything.
Oh, man.
The ad will generate tens of thousands of impressions. The owner will see massive reach numbers, and they will likely achieve zero sales. The algorithm did exactly what it was told to do. It generated awareness, not conversions. To sell the trees, they absolutely had to select the sales objective, forcing the system to target historical buyers.
The objective dictates the machine's entire behavior. It is a profound realization. But this brings up a massive, glaring logistical question. Let's say Lucky Shrub does everything right. They build a brilliant campaign, they select the sales objective, they target the right audience. A user is scrolling Facebook on their phone, they see the ad for the peach tree, they click the link, they are instantly transported away from Facebook onto luckyshrub.com.
Yep, they left the platform.
They add the tree to their cart, they enter the credit card, and they buy it. The transaction happens in a completely different digital country. How does Meta know the sale actually occurred?
That is the pivotal question of modern digital infrastructure. How does the data bridge the gap between the external website and the advertising platform?
If the algorithm needs to learn who the buyers are, it needs to be fed data about successful purchases. If that data loop is broken, the sales objective cannot function.
Welcome to Section 5, the data engine. We need to demystify the invisible tracking tools, the metapixel and the conversions API. This is undeniably the most technical portion of the certification exam, but grasping the core concepts is mandatory. Let's begin with the legacy technology, the metapixel.
How would you define the pixel for someone with zero coding experience?
Technically, the metapixel is a snippet of JavaScript code. A web developer takes this small block of code generated by Ads Manager and embeds it into the global header of the business's website. Once installed, it loads on every single page of that site.
I always try to translate code into physical world analogies. Imagine Lucky Shrub's website is their massive physical garden center. The metapixel is essentially a highly observant digital greeter standing right at the front door.
I like this.
When a user clicks a Facebook ad and enters the store, the greeter recognizes them and discreetly hands them a VIP badge. And then the greeter follows them around with a clipboard, taking meticulous notes on their behavior. Oh, the user walked down the fertilizer aisle. They picked up a trowel and put it in their cart. They walked to the checkout register. They swiped their credit card. The greeter writes all of this down, runs out the back door, sprints over to Meta headquarters and says, hey, the specific user who clicked that ad yesterday just successfully purchased a trowel.
That is an exceptionally accurate visualization of client-side tracking. The pixel observes actions, and in the meta vocabulary, these tracked actions are called events. For the exam, you must distinguish between the two primary categories of events: standard events and custom events.
Let's define standard events first.
Standard events are universal actions that Meta's system recognizes inherently because they apply to almost every e-commerce structure on the internet.
Things like view content when someone looks at a product page, or add to cart, or initiate checkout, or the holy grail, purchase.
Exactly. Because Meta understands the inherent value of a purchase event, it can use that standardized data to aggressively optimize your ad delivery. If the pixel fires a purchase event, the algorithm analyzes the profile of that buyer and immediately starts looking for similar users in your target audience.
But standard events don't cover every business model. What if Lucky Shrub doesn't want to track a sale, but instead wants to track every time a user downloads a highly specific, free PDF guide on winterizing your roses to build an email list?
There isn't a standard winterizing rose guide download event built into Facebook,
No, there isn't.
and that is why the system offers custom events. Custom events require a bit more manual configuration, but they allow a business to define and track highly specific, nuanced actions that are entirely unique to their specific operational goals.
Okay, so the Pixel is this incredible, observant digital greeter. It watches everything happen in the user's web browser and reports back.
Yeah.
But here's where I have to play the skeptic. We live in an era where digital privacy is the dominating narrative. Users are hyper-aware of being tracked. People install ad blockers on their browsers. Apple launched the iOS 14 update that aggressively prompts users, asking if they want an app to track their activity across other websites, and the vast majority of people tap Ask App Not to Track.
They absolutely do.
If a user's web browser actively blocks third-party cookies or they opt out on their iPhone, isn't our digital greeter essentially blindfolded?
You have accurately diagnosed the greatest vulnerability in contemporary digital advertising. The Metapixel is a piece of client-side technology. It relies entirely on the user's web browser, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, to execute the code and send the data packet back to Meta. If the browser blocks the code due to a privacy extension or an operating system restriction, the data packet is destroyed.
Wow.
The greeter is blindfolded, the purchase happens in the dark, and Meta's algorithm assumes the ad was a failure because it never received the purchase signal.
If the algorithm thinks the ad is failing, it stops delivering it effectively and the whole system collapses. So how did Meta solve the blindfold problem?
They realized they could no longer rely solely on the user's browser to transport the data. They had to build a backdoor. That solution is the Conversions API, frequently referred to as KPI.
Conversions API. How does this backdoor bypass the browser?
It shifts the tracking from the client side to the server side. While the Pixel relies on the fragile web browser environment, the Conversions API establishes a direct, secure server-to-server connection. It connects Lucky Shrub's actual web hosting server directly to Meta's servers.
Let's visualize this. The user has an aggressive ad blocker installed. They click the ad, they go to the site, and their browser successfully blindfolds the Pixel. The Pixel sees nothing. But when that user clicks Submit Order, Lucky Shrub's internal backend server has to process that credit card and register the inventory change. The server absolutely knows a purchase just occurred.
Precisely. And with KeyKey integrated, Lucky Shrub's server packages that purchase data, encrypts it, and securely transmits it directly to Meta's server via the API connection. It bypasses the user's browser entirely.
It's an encrypted whisper between two massive mainframes. Hey, despite what the browser told you, this specific user did indeed buy the peach tree.
For the certification exam, you must clearly articulate this distinction. The Metapixel is browser-based, client-side tracking, vulnerable to signal loss. The Conversions API is server-side tracking, highly resilient to browser policies and cookie deprecation.
Right.
And the official Meta best practice, which is the answer you provide on the test, is redundant implementation. You install both the Pixel and CPI simultaneously. Meta servers receive data from both pathways and automatically deduplicate identical events to ensure maximum accuracy without double counting a single purchase.
Redundancy is the ultimate safety net. Okay, so we have bridged the gap. The data is flowing securely from the website back into Ads Manager. Our campaign is running, the algorithm is learning, and the peach trees are flying out of the greenhouse. Now, the business owner has to look at the dashboard and answer the fundamental question of commerce. Am I making money, or am I losing my shirt? It is time for Section 6. Metrics, measurement, and tracing. playing by the rules.
The ability to architect an ad campaign is useless if you cannot accurately interpret the resulting data. Misreading the metrics will inevitably lead to disastrous optimization decisions. You might turn off a highly profitable ad because you misinterpreted a vanity metric, or pour thousands of dollars into a failing campaign because you fundamentally misunderstood the cost structure.
Time for a critical glossary check. We need to run through the essential analytics terms provided in the study guide. This first distinction is notoriously confusing for beginners. Reach versus impressions. Let's define reach first.
Reach represents the total number of unique individual users who are exposed to your ad at least one time. It counts the individual humans, or at least the individual user accounts.
Okay, now contrast that with impressions.
Impressions represent the total tally of times your ad was rendered and displayed on a screen, regardless of who was looking at it.
Let's apply an analogy to make this stick. Imagine you are standing on a street corner handing out flyers for Lucky Shrub. Reach is the number of unique hands you place a flyer into. Impressions is the total volume of paper flyers you handed out.
Good analogy.
If the exact same guy walks past you 3 times and you hand him a flyer every single time, your reach is exactly 1. You only reached 1 unique person. But your impressions are 3 because the flyer was delivered 3 times.
That is the perfect distinction. And understanding impressions is critical for your budget because the vast majority of advertising on Meta is billed on a CPM basis. CPM is an industry standard acronym that stands for cost per mil. Mil translates from Latin as thousand. So CPM means cost per 1,000 impressions.
Oh,
You are fundamentally paying for the digital real estate your ad occupies, regardless of whether the user interacts with it or not.
that is a harsh reality. If your ad is terrible and nobody clicks it, you still pay the CPM for the space it took up in the feed, which highlights the importance of our next metric, cost per result.
Cost per result, or CPR, is your ultimate measure of business efficiency. It is a simple mathematical equation. You take the total amount of money spent on a specific campaign, and you divide it by the total number of desired results achieved based on the objective you selected.
Let's do the math for Lucky Shrub. They run a sales campaign for the peach trees. They spend $500 total over the weekend. On Monday morning, the Conversions API verifies that they successfully sold 20 peach trees. $500 divided by 20 purchases means their cost per result is $25. It costs them $25 in advertising spend to acquire a single customer. If the profit margin on a tree is $50, they are printing money and should scale the campaign. If the profit margin is only $10, they are bleeding cash and need to shut it down immediately.
Exactly. Cost per result dictates profitability. The final critical metric to monitor is the CTR, or click-through rate.
The click-through rate?
The CTR is a percentage. It represents the ratio of people who saw your ad, the impressions, and found it compelling enough to physically click the link. A high CTR is a profound indicator of relevance. It tells you that your targeting is accurate, your creative is visually arresting, and your headline copy is persuasive. If your CTR is abysmal, it means users are seeing the ad and immediately scrolling past it. The creative has failed to capture attention.
So we are monitoring our CPM to understand media costs, tracking our CTR to gauge creative resonance, and obsessing over our cost per result to ensure profitability. Everything is optimized, the dashboard is green, life is good, but then you log in on a Tuesday morning and see a glaring red notification banner at the top of Ads Manager. Your ad has been rejected. Account restricted.
Dreaded red banner.
Panic sets in. Let's discuss privacy and meta advertising standards. Because if you don't play by the rules, none of the tools we've discussed matter. You will be ejected from the platform.
Compliance is non-negotiable. Meta operates an incredibly stringent ad review process. Every single ad submitted to the platform, whether it's a boosted post or a complex dynamic product, ad enters this review queue before it's allowed to deliver. The review process is primarily driven by sophisticated automated systems, supplemented by human reviewers, and it typically requires up to 24 hours to complete.
And when we say they review the ad, a lot of business owners assume they're just running an image recognition scan to make sure there is no inappropriate photography. But the scrutiny goes much, much deeper than the image, right?
Oh, it's a comprehensive audit of the entire user experience. The system analyzes the text in your caption for banned keywords or manipulative phrasing. It analyzes the video content. It reviews the specific audience parameters you selected to ensure you aren't engaging in discriminatory targeting. And crucially, it deploys web crawlers to audit the external landing page you are directing traffic toward.
The landing page audit is fascinating. Let's say Lucky Shrub runs a gorgeous ad for that peach tree. The ad promises a 20% discount. A user clicks the ad, but the link is broken and leads to a 404 error page not found screen.
The ad will be rejected immediately. Meta will not allow advertisers to provide a broken, frustrating experience to its users.
What if the link works, but it's deceitful? What if the ad shows a picture of a beautiful peach tree, but when the user clicks the link, they are redirected to a sketchy website aggressively selling counterfeit designer sneakers?
That is a severe violation of the Circumvention and Deceptive Practices Policy. The destination content must intrinsically match the promise made in the ad creative. If there's a disconnect, the ad is rejected, and repeated offenses will result in the entire Business Manager account being permanently banned.
Now, the study guide demands candidates understand the specific taxonomy of Meta's content rules. There is a very clear distinction made between two categories of content. What is the fundamental difference between prohibited content and restricted content?
The distinction lies in absolute versus conditional permission. Prohibited content is universally banned. It's a black and white rule. Under absolutely no circumstances can you advertise these products or concepts on the platform anywhere in the world.
Give me the most common examples of prohibited content.
The sale of illicit or recreational drugs, the sale of weapons, ammunition, or explosives. The platform universally prohibits hate speech, discriminatory practices, graphic violence, and predatory financial scams, like payday loans or multi-level marketing pyramid schemes.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, there is a strict prohibition on asserting personal attributes. You cannot write ad copy that implies, a user's race, religion, sexual orientation, or financial status.
So you can't say, "Are you a bankrupt 30-year-old?" That violates the personal attributes rule. Okay, so prohibited means never. What about restricted?
Restricted content is permissible to advertise, but it is heavily regulated. It requires adherence to strict local laws, specialized targeting limitations, or prior written authorization from Meta.
Alcohol is the classic example here, right?
Yes, you can advertise a local craft brewery on Facebook. However, the targeting parameters are restricted. You must utilize age gating tools to ensure the ad is only delivered to users who meet the legal drinking age of the specific country or state they reside in. If you fail to apply the age restriction, the ad is rejected.
What about political ads? We see those everywhere.
Ads regarding social issues, elections, or political figures are highly restricted. Advertisers must go through a rigorous personal identity verification process with Meta, providing government-issued ID. Furthermore, the ads must carry a prominent "paid for by" disclaimer so users know exactly who is funding the message.
And finally, there are significant restrictions regarding special ad categories, specifically housing, employment, and credit opportunities.
This is a critical legal compliance issue. Historically, advertisers could use demographic targeting to exclude certain minority groups or age brackets from seeing real estate listings or job openings. This is illegal discrimination.
Right.
Meta requires any ad offering housing, employment, or credit to be declared a special ad category. Once declared, the system actively removes the advertiser's ability to target by age, gender, or zip code, ensuring equal opportunity and compliance with civil rights laws.
It strips away the granular targeting to enforce fairness. Okay, let's take a collective breath. If you are listening to this and your head is spinning, that is completely natural. We have journeyed across a massive digital landscape today. We started by debating the philosophical merits of a Facebook group versus an Instagram reel. We navigated the logistics of a unified inbox and WhatsApp labels. We descended into the tactical weeds of Ads Manager, unpacked the psychology of the 6 campaign objectives, bridged the tracking gap with pixels and KPI, and finally, navigated the legal minefield of advertising policies. You have officially survived the meta marketing crash course.
It is an incredibly dense curriculum. But as we discussed at the beginning, mastering this architecture provides unparalleled leverage in the modern digital economy. You are no longer guessing, you are engineering results.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to chew on as you continue studying. We have spent the last hour meticulously detailing the mechanics. We talked about manually setting budgets, manually selecting placements, and agonizing over standard versus custom pixel events. But the entire landscape of digital marketing is currently undergoing a seismic shift.
Yes, the tectonic plates are moving. If we zoom out and connect everything we've learned to the macro trajectory of the industry, we are rapidly entering an era of deep, pervasive automation. Meta's artificial intelligence capabilities, specifically branded as the Meta Advantage Plus suite of tools, are becoming frighteningly sophisticated.
Advantage plus campaigns.
The AI is reaching a point where it can automate almost the entire middle tier of the nesting doll. You simply hand the system a budget and a pool of creative assets, and the Advantage Plus algorithm automatically discovers the most profitable audience, dynamically tests hundreds of combinations of your headlines and images, and shifts the budget in real time to the winning variations. It is automating the tedious mathematical optimizations that media buyers use to spend hours executing manually.
So, if the machine is taking over the targeting, what does that mean for you, the marketer, studying for this exam? It means your fundamental role is evolving. You no longer need to pride yourself on being a human spreadsheet, memorizing obscure bidding strategies. Your ultimate competitive advantage in an automated future is your humanity.
Exactly.
Your moat is deeply understanding human psychology. The algorithm can find the right user at the exact right millisecond, but it is entirely up to you to create a compelling, empathetic, visually stunning piece of creative content that actually makes that user stop scrolling. The machines will handle the complex math and the delivery logistics, but you have to handle the human connection.
The software is just a conduit. The strategy, the empathy, and the storytelling must originate from the marketer.
Absolutely. So, as you dive back into your notes and prep for this exam, review the specific glossary terms we highlighted. Drill the differences between reach and impressions. Visualize that Russian nesting doll architecture for your campaign, ad set, and ad. Mentally trace the data path from a browser pixel versus a server CPI. And remember, you aren't just opening a storefront in a featureless digital desert anymore. You now possess the blueprint to build the roads, draw the map, and lead the customers right to your front door. Good luck on the exam.